Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Rather than getting into a new topic, see if the Most High is going to continue to connect these puzzle pieces. We're going to jump straight into it this evening, okay? We're going to get into the lost continent of Mu. And as you can tell, if you ever try to do some research, there's not a lot of information on the lost continent of Mu. And, you will get the typical, it didn't exist, never was here. There's no way that a whole continent would just disappear. That's why, this has never happened. Mu and, Atlantis are the same place. Typical things. And it's like, hey, we're going to start to follow what the Most High gives us. We're going to follow these pathways that the Most High opens up for us. And we're going to put all our faith in the Most High to make these connections. So we've always thought about, what's the connection between Asia and America and all these pyramids and all these technological feats that all over the world, like, how do they get this information all over the world? Who helped build these things? Who helped build these buildings and these temples? And, it's like things that were built thousands of years ago that can't even be duplicated today. Just shows you that there's a lot more going on to the story than just what's in the 66 books. They're going to give you what they want you to concentrate on. That kind of information will be readily and easily accessible. It's the information that's hidden, that's very difficult to get, that we have to get downloads on, that the Most High has to provide for us. Those are the things that we need to be concentrating on. And as we get deeper and deeper into these different subjects, you start to see how the distractions are coming left and right. You start to see how the Gentiles are just coming up with, distraction after distraction, trying their best to still fulfill their prophecies. They're still trying to push the Russia and Magog war and, and Ish and their lands and the third temple and, and this and that. And, it's like they ignore all the information that we're bringing out. They'll read our books, but they give no understanding. Oh, Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage. Oh, the guy only got misdemeanors, and oh, he got beaten up after this and, all these different things in order to keep you from chasing after the Most High. That's what it's always been about. Keeping you from, finding out about your bloodline, finding out about where you originated from, finding out about your history. Your enemy is the one who's been constantly telling you that that's not your history. That's not true. That's not possible. All the while they've been taking your records and making movies and making money off of your information and telling you all this whole time that it's not yours. And all the ones who have taken the bag and have been working together, they all got their part and they're all playing the dumb role. They're all playing hush hush and not saying much of anything. But their time is coming to an end as well. Here we go. North America's place among the ancient civilizations. We'll start here in chapter 10, okay? Two of the most interesting questions of the day, both to scientists and laymen, are these. Where did man first appear upon the earth? At what date did he appear? How far back? The first of these questions I can answer and give all reasonable proofs. which consist of written documents, inscriptions on historic ruins, traditions, and geological phenomena. The second question cannot now be answered, and probably never will be, because the records and proofs which were once written now lie in the bed of one of our deepest oceans. Now, hey, we don't know that for sure. A lot of our records were spread all over the place. You know, you got 50 plus miles of records underneath the Vatican. What do you think they're hiding down there? Just a bunch of Bibles? The same 66 books over and over again? The Apocrypha? You think that's what they got hidden down there? The Old Testament pseudepigrapha? The New Testament pseudepigrapha? You think that's what they have hidden down there? Think of all the antediluvian information that has been hidden. Think of how much information that would contain. You would have to have huge areas to hide all this information. So there is a possibility, however, that in unearthing the ruins of ancient Hindu Rishi city temples, there may be found complete copies of the 7 sacred inspired writings of Mu. The 7th writing or chapter tells the tale and gives the history of man from his advent upon earth. We have a biblical statement that says man first appeared on earth in the Garden of Eden. But where the Garden of Eden was, no two authorities agree. And that's the thing. You're going to read the Bible, and they've been telling you all these things happened in the so-called Middle East. All these areas were right here. But no one agrees for sure because no one knows for sure. You have lands that have been sunken under the oceans. How would we not know that the Garden of Eden wasn't there? These places haven't been hidden by the Most High. And then they're going to be brought back here at the end. Anything is possible with the Most High. So to say that certain things aren't possible because man says so shows you that they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Because everything is possible with the Most High. It says we have a biblical statement that says, again, man first appeared on earth in the Garden of Eden. But where the Garden of Eden was, no two authorities agree. I maintain that the biblical Garden of Eden was the Egyptian lands of the West, the Maya's land of Kui, and the Hindus' motherland. The heretical name for all of these was the land of Mu. Now, he's saying that he thinks that Garden of Eden was in the land of Mu. And all these different areas all over the world had different names for the land of Mu, depending on where they are. For some people, it would be the lands to the east. For some people, it would be the lands to the west. It just depends on where they're located on the earth. So now I shall follow ancient man around the world, and by the written records which he has left behind in every country, show beyond controversy the geographical position of Mu. I shall make the start from the United States of North America, because North America and Eastern Asia were the 2 countries where man made his first settlements away from the motherland. Okay? So they're saying, the land of Mu is over there in the Pacific Ocean. And that these people made their first settlements in North America and Eastern Asia. Okay? Now it says, in their excitement over the discovery of a few old human bones, such as the Neanderthal, Piltdown, and Heidelberg man, scientists in both Europe and America have completely ignored and cast aside the remains of ancient man in North America. That the European remains were those of idiots and degenerates is obvious from the abnormal shapes of their skulls. Doubtless, they were outcasts from civilized communities. From Valmiki Druidical works, the Popol Vuh, and other ancient writings, we learn that such characters were driven into the forests, there to live and die like the beasts. So they're showing you Druidical works, the Popol Vuh, those were works from our people. We know that we were the Druids, that we had this information. But remember now, what did they say before? Oh, the Druids never wrote anything down. The Druids never wrote any information down. So therefore, we don't have any of their writings. But it's funny how we know that the Greeks learned from the Druids. They love to talk about Pythagoras and hold him up on a pedestal. But Pythagoras admitted to the fact that he was taught by the Druids. And here again, you're seeing how they got Druidical works. So apparently there must be some works. There must be some information that they were using. So them saying that there were none, there was nothing there, is, I'm sure, more than likely not true. Okay? So Druidical works, the Popol Vuh, and other ancient writings, we learned that such characters were driven into the forests, there to live and die like the beasts. It would appear from many ancient writings that the usual method of disposing of bodies was by cremation. Consequently, there remained no trace of those whose bones had been consumed by fire. So some of the, it seems like the higher echelon people were cremated. But the ones who lived out in the fields, the ones who were the outcasts, you'd be able to find their bones. And then you're going to try to use the bones of the outcasts to try to, figure out what was going on in society. You're using the lowest common denominator to try to get some understanding about a highly advanced society. Now it says, the mere bones of man do not show the degree of civilization which he has attained, or the manner in which he lived. But his works do. And that's exactly it. The works that have been left show you, the degree of civilization. But see, they always want to say, oh, we don't know who built this. We don't know who built that. But we're going to take a look at these bones, though, and try to figure out, how advanced the civilization was. Very backwards. Very backwards. The remains of ancient man's bones found in North America are few, but his works are many, and we know that. Many people don't even realize that the vast majority of the pyramids are over here in the Americas, not in Egypt and the so-called Middle East. You got pyramids all over the world, and those are showing you the degree of, high state of society and civilization. It says all of the scientists who became excited over the discovery of ancient bones in Europe agree that they are the Pleistocene time, or subsequent to the geological glacial period. North Americans were highly civilized and were experts in the arts and sciences tens of thousands of years before these idiots and degenerates of Europe existed. A scientific boom was given to Egypt by way of change, by the assertion that Egypt was the mother of civilization, whereas there are numerous ancient documents telling us that the soil of Egypt was first trod by colonists from America and India. Now, we already know from other our teachings or other videos that we've made that who was the one that taught the Egyptians? Who was the one that was giving this esoteric understanding, the understanding of the stars, of astrology? That was Abraham. That was Abraham. So when it talked about how Egypt was getting there and just learning from the motherland, from America and India, that means then that our people were in these lands of America and India. And see, that's something that's been pushed off this whole time about India, talking about India and Asia, and those lands over there, because they always put these people there, and we associate those lands and that history with the people that are there now. But we know that this world is really good at taking us from our lands, putting other people, supplanting us, putting other people there, and acting as if they've always been there. But this is huge right here. Again, whereas there are numerous ancient documents telling us that the soil of Egypt was first trod by colonists from America and India, and that these colonists brought the learning and civilization of the motherland with them. You see that? They brought this information from the land of Mu with them. Remember now, it talks about how there was the motherland, then they set up these colonies in Asia and in America. And it is from these, colonies, they were spreading their information all over the place. So again, brought the learning and civilization of the motherland with them. Many of these documents were written by the ancient Egyptians themselves. As Schliemann has shown, the great civilization of Egypt declined with the loss of the support furnished by the motherland. So when the motherland, or the land of Mu, perished and sunk to the bottom, of the ocean, then this great civilization of Egypt declined as well, because they lost the support, that was furnished by the motherland. Now, I'm only going to get into this just for a little bit. It's just going to be a little introduction. There's way more coming, but this just shows you that, what it's going to tell you is that the land of Mu was in the Pacific. This was the motherland. This is where all this great information was. And that they set up colonies in different areas. And then from these colonies, our information was spread all over the place. Now, like I say, as you read the information, hey, you chew the meat, spit out the bones. But there's more information is going to be coming. You can do the research for yourself and see. But there's more information about how these great temples in Central America and in Cambodia are connected to the motherland. I'll do that on the next video. I was going to do that video first, but I figured we just kind of get our feet wet, get a little information here, and we will continue to get more information very soon. Okay? So as you can see, take a look over here in the Americas. Why are we so focused on one continent when the pyramids in America are more complete? You see, it would make more sense that the ones in America would be more complete because these ones are built by the ones who came directly from the motherland. When you start looking at the ones in Cambodia, I'll get a picture of that one here in a minute, and how advanced it is, it would make sense that it would be, way more advanced, the way they built it and how it would stand the test of time, because these were the people who left the land of Mu, the motherland, originally, and they were closer to the source and closer to the correct information and understanding and how to build these things. Uxmal is actually one of the main ones that's connected with one of the ones in Cambodia we're going to show you in a little bit. But you got the Pyramid of the Moon, Chichen Itza right there, Tikal right there. Look at how much more advanced they are than the ones in Egypt. So the ones in Egypt were not the originators. You can tell the ones in America because they were closer to the homeland, and they did things, the more original, and that's why these ones stand the test of time. That's why I think this information on Mu is so important. The Amaru Khans, ancient artisans, again from my brother Kudumeo, and the pictures that are showing up on the walls. I was talking to my brother the 12, and it's like, in this book, they're always trying to act as if the people of Mu were blonde-haired white people. They're always pushing that. Church Ward, the author is always really pushing that a lot about how, the original people were white, and that the so-called people of color came later. And they're the ones that are like, oh, we don't know who built these. But they're telling you that originally there was people that were white. But see, on the walls, they're telling you a different story. On the walls, they're showing you, a different people that were the originators. And if you think that they were really all white, why do you think they would you don't think they would let people go into these pyramids and show them these walls, show them these pictures? Because that would then pretty much substantiate all the things they've been telling us, that the white people were the ones who did all this, right? But if the walls don't tell you that, that would make, that would actually show you exactly why they don't want you to go into these temples. They won't let you go in and see anything. Because, remember, these pyramids are going to let you know what the real original people of Mu looked like. They're going to be painted on their walls. The history is going to be shown on these walls inside these temples. And the fact that they don't want to let you in lets you know something. Lets you know that someone is lying. Now you start to make sense as to why they hid these statues. Because if these people came from Mu and they were setting up these civilizations, they were setting up, these different areas in Asia, over here in America. Now you understand when, Columbus got here and he named the people here Indians because they look just like the Indians, because this was India Superior. Now it starts to make so much sense. Now you know why they took this information out of the other subsequent books. The original book has these pictures of Negro-looking people. This is what the original Central Americans look like. So therefore, they would be the ones that have been traveling from Mu and setting up these certain centers. These were the ones that came from, the motherland, from the land of Genesis, from the land of the Garden of Eden. So again, without Atlantis, how can we explain the fact that the early Egyptians were depicted by themselves as red men on their own monuments? And on the other hand, how can we account for the representations of Negroes on the monuments of Central America? Again, how can we account for the representation of Negroes on the monuments of Central America? Desiree Charnay, now engaged in exploring those monuments, has published in the North American Review for December 1880 photographs of a number of idols exhumed at San Juan de Teotihuacan, from which I select the following strikingly Negroid faces. So these were the ones that were responsible for the building over here in Central America of Uxmal, right there. And you're going to see a connection between Mu and some of these other temples, Borobudur. So you got these, temples here that were built way better than the ones in Egypt, closer to the motherland. They have statues of people that look like Negroes right here. Information came out in the first edition, and subsequent later editions, this information was taken out and hidden. This is actually in the California Science Center. I want to actually go and check this out. Angkor right here, the Lost Empire of Cambodia. So the California Science Center proudly presents the world premiere of Angkor, the Lost Empire of Cambodia, an international touring exhibition featuring over 120 ancient artifacts, half of which are on tour for the first time. Okay? So you got these ancient, temples right here. Just absolutely amazing. And they're connected with Uxmal and the land of Mu. My brother the 12 sent me this right here. Check out how these people look right here. Bayon Temple right here. The high bas relief at Bayon Temple in Cambodia. Look at what they look like. See, they don't want you to see these types of people showing up over there in Asia. See, there's a connection. Now when you understand about the land of Mu, and that they all came from there, that's where they originated from, and that's how you understand how you got people that look like so-called Negroes in Asia and in the Americas, because they came, okay, from the same motherland, the land of Mu. We used to always worry about that, or I used to always think about that, like, how in the hell, how did we get over here? If we were all in the Middle East, well, we weren't all in the Middle East. It all starts to make sense. It starts from Mu and it branches out from there. And if we were in other places, hey, I'm sure we were there too. I know that we were in Ireland. I know that we were in Britain. I knew that we were in all these different places. Where it all started, hey, we're not sure. But that's what we're searching for. That's what we're chasing after. But like I said, this is the way the Most High works. My brother, the 12 sent me this a few days ago. Didn't know I was going to make this video. Didn't know we were going to put this information together. But the Most High brings this information together. He gives brothers and sisters, he gives them information. And we're bringing it together because these are the times that we're in. Now we're going to get that key that's going to start to connect Asia and the Americas to the land of Mu, and now in the motherland. And now you're going to see how there's lands of great technology that were there, that the whole world has been working together to keep from the world, keep from the people, especially us, keep our history away from us. That's how they got us, right? They destroyed us through a lack of knowledge. You're not going to know your language. You're not going to know your homeland. Okay, those were all from the 12 patriarchs. Let's say Asher, the book of Asher, and the 12 patriarchs. You're not going to know your land. You're not going to know your language. You're not going to know your history. And now at the end, the Most High is working to give us all of that back. The rest of the world is not touching any of these prophecies because these prophecies don't benefit them. These prophecies deal with the Most High's chosen people, his seed line that he is awakening here at the end. The Holy Spirit is breathing through the all right now. And we can see how all of this is all coming together once again. Popular characters that don't exist. Got a whole lot of them right here. And that's why they've been giving us all these different, distractions to keep us away from the truth. Giving us Cesare, giving us all these movies, giving us this information to keep us from chasing after our history. But now the Most High is working to give us all of that back once again. So just remember now, the statues of the people that were in these ones on the right-hand side, that were the ones that were building these places, look like so-called Negroes. Now, when you Negroes, we know that Negroes, our people can make, not all going to look the same because we can make everything from light skin, dark skin, whiter skin. I said, we make it all. But we know that it's a certain bloodline and a stock of people that were the ones that were responsible for building these great places. And they're still here today, and they're being awakened, and they're fulfilling prophecy just like it said they would. They would wake up in the lands of their captivities, and that's exactly what you are seeing today. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family.